builders. I am working on a haunted house this year. I do a party for the girls for my stepdaughter's soccer team. Typically this is where the cemetery is. I'm gonna try and attempt to build a mausoleum, and then you walk through the mausoleum and enter a haunted house kind of maze thing. My ideas are that maybe this first walkway will have like a sled with spikes on it to try and push the kids through. I have an animatronic witch. I was hoping to have a witch room, and then a kid's room next to it because I got an animatronic kid and a bunch of toys and goofy stuff. And then at the end it'll be a Emmeline animatronic that'll jump out at him and scare him out. Don't hold me to it. I don't know what I'm gonna get done. Today I'm just working on this. I got mocking up some of the roofing. I'm gonna be taking this roofing pieces down, covering it all with plastic. My goal is to make it so that I can just unscrew everything, pile it up, and store it in the yard, in the side yard. So I have to make everything like really think things through so that I can make it modular and can break it down and stow it. So I'll let you know how we're working on the mausoleum. I got some work done without videotaping, but today I'm just gonna go over what I've done and then start working on more of the stone block work. But yeah, basically what I did was I put in the windows. I did the bottom trim first. I just level lined it across, put in the bottom trim, and then put in the windows measuring off the bottom trim so that they were even. I cut a plywood template for the window, put it in place, and then put the foam around the window tight around the template so that the windows all turn out the same. I'm doing 2 windows on the side here, 2 windows that actually will be through the porch area, and I'll be using this template for all of them so they all look the same. These windows I'm gonna probably paper off and put a paint a stained glass window in it, so it looks like stained glass. I thought about putting in a window like plexiglass and doing it that way, but I really want it to be dark inside, and with all the light from the ambient light out here, it'll affect the darkness and the mood of the inside.
Yeah, that's not my real voice. I just sped it up so you didn't have to listen to me for too long. This project was a lot of preparation. It's cutting down the stone blocks, sanding them. It's a lot of mess. It makes a bunch of mess everywhere. Sanding in this styrofoam is crazy. It gets everywhere. Wear a mask, real respirator if you have one. Yeah, it's just a bear. Sure, it was cheap, but it took a lot of time. I mean, I enjoy it, so it's fun for me, but definitely if you're doing this, make sure you wear a mask.
Hey guys, Matt back again. This is the day after finished off this section of wall. There's still some trimming to do of the foam. I gotta pull all the screws out, and I still haven't decided exactly what I'm doing with this top edge. I'm gonna do something, but I don't know what yet. But I am gonna move around to the porch. I'm gonna get these columns made that are gonna go on the front of the porch, the decorative columns, so that I can put the base across here and then start filling that in. I didn't even check the time more to see if it did the time lapse, but hopefully it did, and I can show you guys. I'll try it again. But yeah, just kicking on through, trying to get this thing wrapped up by the end of the week. It's starting to shape up, and pretty happy with the way it's going so far. Hopefully I can just get this thing wrapped up and painted by Friday, if the rain doesn't hit before then. Anyway, Yeah, just so you guys know, I got these panels all for free from a shipping container guy, and I got all this foam for free from Tractor Supply. They use them to store or ship their trailers, and then when they take their trailers off, they unpackage them. All these are left, and so I just called the Tractor Supply place, and they just let me come in and grab as many as I want. So hopefully I have enough, but I'm sure I can find some somewhere if I don't.
Yeah, these columns were super fun. I did them flat top this year. I'll do a detail on the top later, maybe even put on a gargoyle on them. I'm not sure exactly how I'll finish them out, but something will come to me. I was kind of designing this as I went. I did cut the windows out, mainly because I didn't get enough foam. I take the van out to Tractor Supply, and I take all the seats out and just pack it full of foam, and I got one van full of foam for this part of the project, and I was not going to have enough to do the trim because it's thicker. It takes more foam than the block, so I just blocked the whole wall. I can always come back later and cut them out if I wanted to, but for now I'm pretty pumped with the way it turned out. Yeah, I was gonna put in wood backers for the columns. That's why I got the table saw out, and I decided against it. I just didn't think it was necessary. I just glued them all together, and when I go to take it apart, I'll just take the columns off. They're relatively easy to remove. I have two ledger lock bolts that are holding them together. This project was a lot of sanding and a lot of vacuuming, which isn't great. If I had a shop and I could do all this in a shop, it would be so much better. Or easier, I guess. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it worked out pretty good. This is the section I'm cutting the top piece around the roof, and I actually cut it backwards somehow. I'm not sure how. I was able to use it on the other side, the other column. It's pretty weird. It was like I got it mirrored up wrong or something. Yeah, eventually I get it and set it in. Like I'm test fitting it, and it seems like it should have fit, but it actually was backwards. But yeah, these columns turned out pretty cool, and then after I got the columns in, then everything else just kind of whipped into place. This day was kind of windy, so I had to keep propping stuff up against to hold it together. But yeah, it turned out pretty cool. Let you guys watch the rest of this, and then see you on the next section. This section is working that wall after doing the column. I put the base in, which is like what do they call it, like a mud sill or something like that. I did a thicker trim there. Then I started working it, and then I realized that it was pushing out the column a little bit from being level, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I want it to look really good and be straight and level and all that stuff. It drives me nuts when things are off. So that was the beauty of having that modular column thing. I could pull it off, cut the stone level, and fix it all. It was tough because the ground out there isn't level at all, so kind of hard to figure out exactly what I'm going again. I couldn't level it really. But it turned out pretty good. I ended up dropping that piece of wood that I put in as a trim piece and just going all the way up to the eave. You'll see in a second. That was just a piece I had that was laying around, just happened to almost fit. and then followed it up the roof line, which was kind of fun because it's all archy roof style and not straight. So luckily it's, you know, just a Halloween mausoleum, so I didn't have to be completely crazy good and didn't have to flash it or anything like that. Just spray foam and the glue in. But yeah, this section turned out pretty fun too. And then I jumped onto the front, and I'll catch back up with you on that section. So now I'm onto the front of the mausoleum. Here again, I'm just designing as I go. Used a bucket to cut out the top of the arch for a little decorative circle, and trying to work through getting the trims a little wider, so then I have to like work the block in so that I'm like, you know, it's all about having different depths of the trim so it looks cool, give it more appeal. Yeah, I use a handsaw, just a regular wood cut handsaw, to cut this stuff. It cuts so fast. You don't even really see it because it's a speeded up video. But yeah, I'm just using a handsaw. Sometimes I'll use a razor knife, but mostly a handsaw. Makes less mess, and then of course I gotta sand everything down and get it all cleaned up. Here I was a little crooked on my first block, which then made my second block crooked and my third. And I step back and look, and I'm like, oh boy, it's way off. So then I have to recut the first one, start back over. I wanted all the blocks, the levels of the blocks, to be the same through the front, the sides, so that when you step back, you look at it, it looks like it's all like stone that was actually like built. You know, it's all the same level. So I had to level it up. Cutting the little pieces, throwing it all together. You know, with the curvy roof, it kind of made it a little trickier to do some of the cuts, but I was just using my square as a scribe and getting my archway off the square. This stuff that you can't really draw on it very well with pencil, but it gives you kind of a line, more of a dent than a line, but you can always just cut it on the dent. Yeah, and then just working my way up. I'm just temporarily sticking them on there now, and then I pull them all down and spray foam them in place. I'm sure you can use a glue. This is during like the tariff, so I'm trying to get the cheapest way to do things. And I put the circle in. I made the circle off to the side, so that's actually the proudest. Kind of almost the same level as the columns, and then I cut a skull down and glued it in place in the circle. Later I cut down some skulls and make shelves for like lanterns that I put on each column, but down low. I left the tops flat. I do want to find like either crosses, foam crosses, or foam gargoyles for next year. But yeah, I found that spray foam was the cheapest, and I actually got more coverage from like the regular expanding foam than I did the window foam. The window foam for some reason went up to almost $6, whereas a can of the red stuff just was like $4.25 at Lowe's. So it was like the cheapest out for the whole thing. It went a long way. I actually bought a couple too many tubes or cans of foam, but I'm sure I'll use them. Now I'm working through the this is kind of to show you how I process to make the stones. I made a hot knife saw. Got the idea off of Hollywood Hunters or Hollywood Haunters. And mine's kind of a little bit lower tech. I have a hot knife that I bought on Amazon, and I just turned it into a table saw using 26 gauge wire. Pretty simple. Mine did like flex. It heated up, stretched when I was pushing through, so I had to continually push foam through, or else it would like sag down. It's a process, but I was listening to a book on tape, so I think during this project I maybe listened to 3 books. And yeah, that's kind of that on processing. Then I gotta sand again and vacuum, and I probably spent just as much time vacuuming as I did working, just to keep the dust from blowing around the yard and getting spreading out. But yeah, then I get that last wall done. I don't think I recorded it, but it was super fun to work on.
Hey guys, got a lot of catching up to do. I did a bunch of work on the haunted house. The mausoleum, started doing the grout paint, and also did a lot of finished off the framing of the maze part. Put the roof on, plastic did. It's kind of waterproof, mostly waterproof. I mean, if it rains the night of the party, we won't get wet in there. Today I am putting in the block work on the mausoleum and the door. So all I did was I found a median off the ground, a level line, not a level line, went off the ground. If I were to laser line it, it would be crooked. All this is all crooked. The ground isn't flat. So I want it to look straight, not level. You kind of have to pick one or the other. If the ground's level, then you can go with level, but straight's better than level. It'll look fine. I'm gonna put the block in along here. I'm also doing a doorway, trimmed out, and then I'm not sure yet, but I might do a window or two, depending on how much trim. I have just enough foam to do this. But yeah, basically moving along. Kind of had to downsize some of my expectations of the haunted house a little bit, just because I didn't want to spend a ton of money trying to get this thing done for under 200 bucks. And so far, so good. I put the floor in the mausoleum because it is a little swampy back here. I put the floor in the mausoleum. It's just pallets that I got from that guy for free, with the same guy that did the walls. So that I put the bottom of the boxes that he shipped stuff in the floor. It does get a little swampy back here when it rains. It's supposed to rain up until like Thursday, and the party's Friday. So I'm expecting it to be a little wet, so I didn't want it to be swampy, especially now that it's covered up. It probably won't dry out fast. And then I did the same thing here. I made my floor and then screwed my walls into the floor, bolted and screwed, so that it and then I basically made trusses. Now it's not a house, so it's temporary, so it's all modular, can take it down. But the trusses are basically 3 feet apart. In a house, you know, you can't go further than 2 feet, but this isn't a house, I don't really care. And then I just took a couple of the panels apart for the roofing so that the roof had some kind of structure, or else the plastic, I think, would have just ripped off. I mean, it's gonna hold better if it gets windy and weird. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I hope you've enjoyed the process so far. I know I did a big skip between the mausoleum being done and then finishing off the framing for this, but it really was kind of boring. I don't know that you guys would have enjoyed watching it. But yeah, I'll time lapse this, so you guys it'll be like a minute. It'll probably take me all day. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you, or you can continue to enjoy this film, and then I'll try and key in when I start painting again. Alrighty, bye. guys, so I got all the blocks up that I sanded down. It was a lot, but it turned out okay. And now I'm painting it. I went over and did these lines in black, so that when I did the gray, it would be finished and the cracks would be done. I see I missed a couple of spots, but I'll hit those real fast. But yeah, and then I'm gonna do this gray, and then over top the gray, I'll use like a watered down paint, and I'll just splotch it here and there. Maybe some green and brown. Yeah, but other than that, it's really coming along. Feeling like it's starting to get there. Hopefully tomorrow it'll dry tonight and I can come back over and kind of like weather it and make it look crazy. Anyway, yeah, I'll tape some of the painting. Not that you guys, it's not that exciting, but just rolling out what I have left. And yeah, tomorrow I'll show you guys how I'm gonna weather it.
So unfortunately I did skip a bunch of the work, but tomorrow I'll give you guys a walkthrough. Please subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video.